morning, it's Barbara. Keeping in mind this is the temperature on the table under the umbrella because our tree is gone. Oh, and Dennis is making me an espresso. The cicadas are very loud out here. This is the front. I just walked out the front door. You can see the driveway going up to the house next door is all turned up a little bit because of all the huge equipment we have. This tree, this was a big fat elm tree, and this was the tree that was always a pain in the ass when you were trying to mow because it had big buttress roots, and so you had to mow around it really weird. But it was half dead and rotten inside, and so it's gone. That's a stump that was removed. The tree had been down for a while, and then you can't really even tell, but over here between the driveways we had a dead ash that has been removed, but it looks like the holly trees are still in good shape. They were careful. I appreciate that. So around this is where I did my weed whacking to start with. That was the real impetus for me. Now I got to get in there and start pulling some weeds. But anyway, that's the story. This is our apple tree that has no apples. We can see this tree from our bedroom window. And we can see even on the top there's no apples. So there we go. This is what the front looks like now. I don't know if you can tell, but there's all kinds of impressions, you know, especially down at the bottom, you know, heavy equipment driving on our lawn. We're going to have some serious landscaping. And while I'm here, there's my forsythia, and there's our chimney. Still scaffolded and curing, and next week it'll get its antique colored outside coat. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Dennis gave me espresso. I'm trying to start to like that. Everything's a process. I do have some sad news back here, though. Since the first day of the equipment back here, I haven't seen or heard any more from my birdhouse. So I don't know. I hope if there were babies, they were ready to fledge. I can't believe they would just abandon the nest. I mean, the workers left at 4. I don't know. Very dramatic color. This is vinyl, Maybelline vinyl. I told you yesterday I had ordered Dennis's crab for his birthday. I'm starting to plan for the birthdays and the trip. I can't fix that. I can mess it up more. I guess that's why people use lip liner, right? Oh well, anyway. Good morning, it's Barbara. Oh, I don't even know if I combed my hair. I did brush my teeth. So, yeah. So I'm starting to plan for our trip. I'm going to have to bring a bunch of food to help me, you know. I looked up the restaurants at this place we're staying, the Great Wolf Lodge. Kid junk food, you know. They do have a buffet, which they make it sound like it has healthy choices. We'll see. the thing is, I mean, it's not all inclusive or anything, so it's not like there's any real pressure to eat at the lodge, other than I'm picturing possibly, you know, the car parked far away, and it's, you know, a whole big thing, and it's easier just to do it while you're there kind of thing. I'm sure they make it that way because they want you to stay there and eat, but we can eat other places. But I'm thinking about how to stay off the carbs, because, you know, kids' junk food is full of carbs. So I'm working on it. You know, I'm doing really well with my food thing here and feeling good about it. And I don't want to completely mess things up while we're away. So I just need to plan ahead, and I'm doing that. The kids aren't big breakfast eaters, which is good, because it looks like, you know, I'm sure we couldn't take the girls to the breakfast buffet without also paying for ourselves when we aren't going to eat. So we'll do something else for breakfast. We'll figure it out. And then there's Williamsburg. I haven't even been thinking about Williamsburg because they don't keep sending me emails. Great Wolf Lodge sends me 2 emails a day now. Oh, your trip's coming up. Woo! So, yeah, so now I've got to start doing some research about Williamsburg, and so I can think about when is the best time for Williamsburg. We're there 2 full days. We check into the lodge at 4, but if we get to Williamsburg early, we could go to Williamsburg and scope it out before we check in, see what's going on there. And, you know, make sure that I have an idea of what we want to do, with not just going in there blind. But I think they're going to enjoy Williamsburg, and I think they're going to enjoy the lodge. I was texting Jason this morning, and they're in week 1 of grandparents camp with my ex and his wife. And we're in something of a competition, you know, grandparents week. Well, they started it 2 years ago. They took the kids to Legoland, and they always have the week before us. So, and Janice is a big Instagram poster, you know. So I spend the week seeing, you know, the kids. And I went out there today to see what they were doing. And they're at the beach, and yesterday at the beach and the boardwalk, and having a great time because they live in Jersey. And and I guess they're going horseback riding today, Jason said. He said, but Janice has conceded that you win Grandparents Week this year. But 2 years ago, I was sitting there thinking, oh, what are we going to do with the girls? Oh, we'll paint, and then they're going to Legoland, and they're doing, I'm like, okay, I got to up my game. I told you this at the time. And then last year we missed our week because of tragedies. And so this week, you know, but he said Janice has conceded Grandparent Week this year, which made me laugh. But I was glad they're supposed to go horseback riding today, and I was glad because they love horseback riding. I mean, that's what saved me 2 years ago, because I took them horseback riding. But I don't have, I'm not taking them horseback riding this year, and I thought, oh, good, they'll get to go with Steve and Janice. That's good. That's good. Anyway, so I'm in the middle of planning. I have no idea if I will be vlogging next week, Monday through Thursday, because that's when we're going to be away. So, don't worry. Don't worry. I'll at least be able to do some shorts. I don't know if shorts come up easily on your feed if I do a short, but I don't know why I would have to do a short, though. I could just do a short vlog. They still have to upload through the Wi-Fi at the place, right? So anyway, just a heads up. If you don't hear much from me, don't worry. Anyway. So yesterday, the tree guys stayed longer than usual in the front because they wanted to finish up and get their equipment out of here and everything. They were blocking the road for 2 days, so, with their big trucks. So they worked hard to get the heck out of here. But they did a lot. They did a lot. So we can see the barn much easier from here. Of course, it's dark over there. There's the barn. It's a little barn. It's a little barn that holds 2 horses. Stalls for 2 horses, if we had horses. And, yeah. So, sawdust scattered everywhere. I do have to water the plants today. I don't know what I'm doing today. Dennis, Aura has a doctor's appointment, so Dennis is going to be taking care of that. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Maybe nothing. I did work on my blanket last night, so I did some crocheting while I was listening to my stupid stories. Very overcast here. I don't know how much that is clouds and how much is smoke. Apparently the East Coast, we're getting a lot of Canadian fire smoke. I hope you guys are safe, all you Canadians. People are digging out their masks because the air out in upstate New York and stuff, really, really bad. And I'm sure it's bad in Canada too. A lot going on. So anyway, it's calm here. Nobody woke us up at 8 o'clock, so we were able to sleep our regular schedule. So I slept better today. Last night, I don't know why I'm saying that. Just jinxing myself again. But I slept better last night, and yeah. So I'm going to water the plants out here. That's all I'm going to do today. Maybe write an email. I'm not making any promises. Oh, but we were seeing the other day, it was so much fun because these wrens were just going crazy over here, and we were having a lot of activity at the hummingbird feeder, and it was so nice. So I hope the hummingbird comes back, but I think we've chased away the wrens, and that makes me a little bit sad, let me tell you. So our backyard, when we moved here, our backyard was a forest. It was a forest. We estimated we've taken down 15 trees in our yard. Some of them in the front. 15. Counting this one, but it came back. But yeah. So we have 3 big old trees that are still here. We have a very giant, which is interesting. This tree behind the shed is a huge, huge dogwood tree. It's like the biggest dogwood tree I remember ever seeing. So we have a beautiful big dogwood. We have a big maple here that gets really red, and it's still here. And we have the big elm tree that the goldfinches love over there. Right there. And we have this maple tree that's coming back beautifully after it was cut down and it grew out of the stump. So we have now 4 elegant, lovely trees back here that are natural trees. And then we have the 3 apple trees that Dennis planted in the back. But one of those apple trees, I think, got hit. The Fuji got hit, and I don't think I showed you yesterday. I don't think it's going to survive. So anyway, our property looks completely different than it did 25 years ago when we moved in. We moved in September 12th, 2001. So 24 years. Coming up on 24 years. So, yeah. And we've taken down 3 or 4 trees in the front. So, but as you can see, we have lots of woods outside the fence. This is just in the fenced, you know, sort of yard. But there's a woods behind us, which we own. And there's a woods beside us, which we own. So we have woods. Just not as close as we used to. I don't know where Dennis is going to put the gizmo for the weather station that I show you at the beginning. Here's the thing. It's just here on the table underneath the umbrella, so it's in the shade. But the deck, you know, when the sun is shining, it's warmer here. So it's going to be reading warmer than the rest, than it would have if it still had a tree. But we do have the big maple tree. He could put it up there. It needs to be in the shade in the north, facing north. So he's got to figure out a place that it can go. Anyway, I'm rambling. I am, recovering because I had 2 really bad nights and 2 stressful days. Our car didn't get finished yesterday, so we will be picking it up today, presumably. I hope, you know, or tomorrow. Depends on how long it takes, I guess. It better be ready for Monday because we really wanted to take that car on our trip, but the dog car is a good, reliable car, and we could take that if we had to, but full of dog hair. The granddaughters don't care. They love dogs. I think the only thing the granddaughters would be sad about is the dogs won't be going with us on our trip. I think they would love that. They really are dog girls. So they have their own dog, Kobe. He's a cutie. But the dogs will be at camp. The girls will be at camp. And they'll have a wonderful time. They're always excited to get there. They really do like it there. And, so that works out well. Anyway, so that's what's happening with us. Don't expect much. I need to start working on grand philosophical thoughts because activities, telling you about my activities is not gonna last very long these days, I'm afraid. Although we shall see. We do. I'm very curious how this is all going to work out, because I do have this scheme in mind that we had this idea when we were doing a lot of traveling. I mean, when we first retired, we did amazing, amazing trips. Our first trip was to Antarctica. I mean, we've been to the Amazon more than once. We've been to South America more than once. Obviously, if we went to the Amazon, but we did several trips. 3, 1, 2, 3. I guess we did 3 big trips to South America. Oh, not counting Antarctica, which also was South America, because we went to Buenos Aires and Iguazu Falls. So we've had 4 big trips to South America. I like South America. Dennis loves South America. So it's high on our list. We went on safari. We went to Egypt twice. I mean, yeah. Crazy, amazing, amazing, amazing trips. We front-loaded our big activity trips, thinking that we could do, European river cruises or wandering around London and things like that when we're older. Who knew that COVID was going to take years out of our travel time. But anyway, if we never get to travel again, we've already been incredibly, amazingly lucky and had wonderful, wonderful, wonderful trips. We didn't have a bad trip, not one single one. But at the time when we were doing these big fancy trips, we were thinking that when the granddaughters hit like 14, like for their 14th birthday, their gift from us would be, where do you want to go in the world? We'll take you. At 14. That's what we were thinking. Except Disney World. We won't go there. We won't go to Disney World, but we'll go wherever else you would like to go. So we thought, but since we're not really traveling much these days, because of COVID, that's kind of gone by the wayside. Of course, we didn't get there yet. Isabel's going to be 12 this year. But it occurred to me that maybe if this works out and we feel comfortable doing what we're doing, then maybe, we get them for a week every summer. Maybe we do a little, road trip, traveling, seeing America kind of stuff, for our grandparent week. Maybe this is just the beginning. And so, anyway, that's what I was thinking. Because then, it's educational, it's fun, and, it's not just, gee, do you want to sit and paint with Nana? Although, maybe that would get me painting. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking. I keep doing that. I'm like, this is not an attractive pose. I'm sorry. But, I'm 71 years old. If you don't like my arms, sorry. Not sorry. But anyway, I don't need to show them to you when I stretch. I can stretch like that. So anyway, that's what I was thinking this morning. Like, maybe just make this the annual thing and have the girls keep their eyes open during the year figure out where they would like us to take them. We like a car trip. Where they would like us to take them. That you can do nicely in a week. Because we have a week. Well, we have 5 days. I don't think their parents would want us to be gone a really long time. Because they actually miss their kids. When I was a single mom, and the kids were young, Steve and I separated when Christy was in kindergarten. So I was a single mom throughout. Well, yeah, so Dennis and I got married when Christy was 12. So I was by myself from 5 to 12. And, but they used to go to Florida for 3 weeks to stay with Steve's parents who lived in Daytona Beach. And it took me 3 weeks to really, really miss them. And, because it took me a week to decompress. And then a week to have some fun myself alone. And then a week to start really when are these kids coming home? I miss them. Does that make me a bad mother? Took 3 weeks. Because I asked Jason how they were. Oh, I got the hiccups now. How their week without the kids was going. And he says, well, yeah, good and bad. We really miss them, but, it's quiet around here. He said, we've mostly just been cleaning. I'm like, oh. But they have another week next week. Maybe they'll do something. And the week after that, they're going on vacation. They're taking the kids to Ocean City, Maryland, I think. So anyway, all right, I've rambled enough. I have to start having more philosophical thoughts, so I have more to discuss with you since I don't apparently plan to actually do much. Oh, but I'll have the vacation to talk about. Anyway, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.